Alright, y'all, I'm back with another banger for y'all young boys today, man, and hey, man, and I'm back with another special reaction video for y'all young boys today, man. Sorry, y'all, today, I got a very special video for y'all young boys today. It's called Spider-Man versus Deku, Marvel versus My Hero Academia, Death Battle. And it ain't no Peter Parker that didn't brought to this plate, man. Nah, they bought the real Spider-Man. Let me stop playing with y'all. They bought my boy Miles Morales, though. Miles finally get his shot at a death battle, man. And I love that for him. I don't know who Death Battle think Deku is, bro. And I love Deku. I really do. I love kind-hearted superheroes, but there's levels to this. And I personally don't like when comic books are put against manga characters, because 90% of the time you have an iteration out there where you just have an omnipotent version of them, and Death Battle would just randomly just throw that in the battle. Like Superman versus Goku. I always knew Goku was gonna lose 99% of the time, because they'll just bring some random continuum where Superman punched a hole in the wall of infinity, or just walked through it, or is able to sit there and just grab the sun with his hand and just ball it up like a piece of paper or some crazy stuff like that. So I don't know why the heck they put Deku against Spider-Man. I guess because he can web sling a little bit, something like that. But I'm letting y'all know right now, Miles Morales is gonna win. I'm fully confident he should win.
Are you sure about that?
But all right, y'all, before we get in the video, man, don't forget to like, share, subscribe if y'all new, y'all. Let's get into Spider-Man versus Deku Death Battle. Oh, that looks tough.
Miles Morales versus Izuku Midoriya.
Spider-Man versus Deku. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
All right, let's take this from the top again. This is Peter Parker. He was bitten by a radioactive spider, and for who knows how long, he's been the one and only Spider-Man.
A friendly neighbor to all of New York City. In a universe filled with super soldiers, hulking green Goliaths, and world-shattering gods, Spider-Man is there to look out for the little guy.
But in a multiverse of infinite possibilities, that doesn't always last forever. Like in Universe 1610, when NYC's Webhead got iced on the job.
The city was left without its protector. But fortunately, Peter wasn't the only one who got bit. Enter Miles Morales, a young teen from Brooklyn just trying to figure out his place in the world. And now, he had it thrust upon him.
The canon event to start all canon events. Now it was Miles' turn to be the hero the Big Apple needed. And he had all the usual spider kit to.
So his real name is Miles Morales. He's 17 years old, 5'8", graffiti artist, Harold Anansi. Oh, I don't know what the heck that is, but I think that's like some spider totem equilibrium type thing. I think that's the Moreland, the vampire totem seeking monster that basically goes around the universe and hunts Spider-Man or something like that. So that, I think it has something to do with that. Then you also got Teams, Champions, Ultimates, Avengers. He likes Naruto, DBZ, JoJo's, and Gwen. My boy is cultured. He just like me for real, bro. You know what? I can see me and Miles hanging out in real life, bro. I feel like we really get along, bro, because he like Naruto, DBZ. I don't know about JoJo. I never checked out JoJo. I'm going to eventually sit there and check it out, y'all. I promise y'all. But he disliked canon events. Don't. GameStop and Paul. Yeah, GameStop has been robbing people for absolutely years. Never go and return a game from GameStop unless you want to get robbed. If they will sit there and look in your face, you'll turn in a PS5, 50 games, and they'll give you 20 cents. Truest thing you'll ever hear in your life. But Miles Morales, I love him. I think he's a really great character. But I think the biggest thing about Miles Morales, I loved reading his comic books. Like when you read his original comic books, I'll still put a picture of the actual equilibrium or continuum I'm talking about. His comic books and his story is absolutely fire, bro. I loved everything about his origin story. Only thing I don't like is the Spider-Verse movies. I truly don't. The reason I don't like the Spider-Verse movies, even though they're animated beautifully and I feel like they actually have a good storyline, I feel like it takes away from Miles' actual story. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like they're trying to just throw in all these other Spider-Man in order to like, and then have like this giant multiversal thing. But like, no, just focus on Miles Morales. He has such a fire story from start to finish, from his uncle being the Prowler to Gonki to him fighting the Scorpion and Venom sitting there and hunting down him and end up murdering someone very close to him. I won't spoil it, but like he just has a very, very touching, fire, emotional story, and then trying to pick up the torch from Spider-Man that died in his continuum. And I feel like it just gets overshadowed by all like the fluff they throw into the Spider-Verse movie. I feel like he deserves his own standalone by himself movie, but that's my personal opinion why I don't like the Spider-Verse movies. But he is one of my favorite Marvel characters, bro. He's absolutely fire.
Help him out.
This spider carried the Oz formula, a genetics-enhancing serum that granted Miles superhuman strength, speed, and the ability to alter his body's electron attraction to crawl along any surface.
And you can't forget that classic spider sense, an internal warning system that lets Miles know about incoming threats so he can react ahead of time. He even got an upgrade that acts like a radar, letting him see through stuff.
But no Spider-Person is complete without their web shooters. Given to him by Peter's Aunt May, these webs have all sorts of applications between swinging, grabbing, restraining, projectiling, and being made into constructs.
Not having Peter around to show him the ropes made things a lot tougher though. And between mishaps with wall crawling and web slinging, Miles got off to a rocky start.
Like any typical teenager, he had a lot of self-doubt. Could he keep up in school? What was the right way to talk to girls?
And how could he live up to being Spider-Man when one of the villains he had to face turned out to be his very own uncle? Makes family dinner so awkward. All that trying to kill you stuff.
Fortunately, Miles...
And in the comics, y'all, like I'm telling you, please read the comics, because when the comics, it was so emotional because he had to sit there and he was really, really close to his uncle. Like him and his uncle was like this, right? And I think his uncle is the whole reason he became Spider-Man or ended up getting bit by the spider. And then when his uncle found out that Miles is Spider-Man and tried to sit there and get him to do crime with him, and they had their giant emotional fight, and then he thought he killed his uncle. Like it was like a giant, super emotional. It was done so much better in the comic books. It's like something completely different. Like the way he tried to zap him. Like I think they did it in the movies, but it didn't just hit the same in the movies. Like you really just gotta check out the comics to really just grasp it. Like dang, like how much mental torment he was going on for thinking that he really ended up offing his uncle. And then Captain America, I think, had to press him to say, hey son, you didn't sit there and do nothing wrong, come back, things of that nature. Even though I think Captain America at first was trying to sit there and stop Miles from being Spider-Man. It's just a lot of stuff that happens in the comics, him sitting there getting his first steps and trying to learn how to be Spider-Man in the first place. I highly recommend checking out the comics, and you'll realize like how much we got robbed, bro. We got robbed. And another thing I didn't like too, like from the MCU standpoint, I didn't like how the new Spider-Man, you know, with Peter Parker and Tom, what's his name? I didn't like how they stole Genki from Miles. That was his sidekick. I remember reading those comics and everything, and the Asian fat guy, Genki, that was Miles' right-hand man, his eyes in the skies. Like you even saw on the Death Battle screen. That was his. And I was like, how the heck did Peter end up with Genki? But before Miles did in a live action joint, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like a lot of stuff got stolen from Miles and his time to shine was just kind of overshadowed by just throwing in all that fluff. But then they gave Tom Holland like Genki and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't like it, bro.
Had a leg up on every other superhero known to man.
Living parents! Better yet, loving parents.
For a little bit.
They supported him when things got tough, even if they didn't always see eye to eye. And thanks to them, he learned that the best way to be Spider-Man wasn't to do it like Peter, but to do it his own way.
And it helped that this particular spider had a bit more to its bite than Peter's. Miles has a variety of unique powers, like invisibility and venom.
Not like Tom Hardy, though it is weird to give your main power the same name as one of your bad guys. Come on, Spidey, branding is important.
Miles can harness his own bioelectric energy and weaponize it, which is especially effective against individuals with genetic mutations.
Punching, absorbing, blasting, mega blasting. Hell, he can even make electric constructs out of this stuff, like biowebbing and a damn sword. Jeez, what kind of spider was this?
It's not entirely science fiction. Studies have shown that certain species of spiders, such as the Linophiidae, have a process known as ballooning. By spinning a thread of their silk, they can use the Earth's natural electric fields to fly, traveling up to hundreds of miles. No pun intended.
Well, whatever kind of bite it was, it gave Miles the edge he needed to find his worth as Spider-Man.
Miles can dodge gunshots, missiles, and lightning bolts. He survived all sorts of beatings, including a building exploding on top of him.
Oh geez, Spidey could lift buildings and dodge light speed attacks, and Miles is more than a match for him.
Like the time he absorbed the energy of a bomb that was going to vaporize Harlem, a blast that would have equaled 15 million tons of TNT.
He's gotten kudos from a ton of older heroes too, becoming a member of the New Ultimates and the Avengers. He even helped form the Champions, a team of teenage superheroes with the likes of Miss Marvel and Ironheart.
The king of Wakanda himself even suited him up with some Wakandan vibranium.
The same
And like they see the death battle brings stuff up like that, bruh. And these are like across a bunch of different continuums. And that's what I'm talking about, bruh. Like the problem with manga versus these comics, bro, when you try and do like these debates and topics, they don't stick to one continuum. They go here, 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 here. And you know, we see Midoriya's story from start to finish is only one continuum. We literally see the peak of his power. Like that's the same, like how do you compete against this? Like he probably has like so many different variations where he's either omnipotent man or like the weakest thing in the universe. Like it's so weird. Like it's the same thing with Peter Parker. Peter Parker has continuums where he's punching Hulk into outer space. Then he has continuums where he's getting beat up by Kingpin. You know what I'm saying? It's just so inconsistent with like the Marvel and DC side where the manga side only got one continuum. So it's like you could just literally see everything from start to finish. So it's like, I don't understand how would Midoriya even stand a chance against Miles? It just, if he loses, then Death Battle, I'm about to spaz on y'all because there's just no way. But like, I highly doubt because it just don't make sense for like a freaking DC, a Marvel character to lose to a manga character at this point, especially if you're pulling across like seven to eight different continuums. You know what I'm saying?
stuff as T'Challa's own suit. This super rare and tough metal can absorb kinetic energy and vibrational impacts.
It helps to regulate Miles's venom powers too, allowing him to better control his electrical output.
The vibranium is thinner to better fit his acrobatic fighting style, but it can still shake off most fatal attacks like they're nothing. This stuff is tough enough that Deadpool's swords have shattered against it.
Though it's not as durable as, say, Captain America's shield, and enough kinetic energy will overload it.
Don't be near it when it does, or you'll end up like the Falcon here when he used his vibranium wings to stop a bomb that was gonna blow up New York City. That's twice now. Does any other city have to deal with this stuff?
But when vibranium and spider powers still aren't enough, Miles can push his electrical output into overdrive,
giving him huge boosts in strength and speed and making him a whole lot zappier. It's your classic shonen power-up, and he knows it too. He's a bit of a weeb and has a thing for mimicking some favorites.
Despite his initial
Just like me
insecurities,
for real.
Miles has more than managed to live up to his predecessor, no longer standing in the shadow, but side by side.
Literally,
Love that.
his universe got blown up and he was sent to the main 616 timeline, along with his family. And now it's him and Peter as a pair of Spider Bros.
He's
love
even
that.
become one of the big players of the Spider-Verse, teaming up with all sorts of other spider variants to defend the multiverse.
There's anime spider people, robot spider people, dinosaur spider people, spider people, a whole lot of them, each with their own way of getting the job done. Miles even led them into battle against the Inheritors, a bunch of
Moreland.
interdimensional vampire assholes.
This is what Stan Lee was proudest of in his favorite superhero. Regardless of who they were, any sort of person could wear the mask and do the right thing.
And I love that. I absolutely love that they was able to create a new character from scratch and not feel like a cheap carbon copy of the original character. I love it. I love when things just doesn't feel like one thing changed. Like they didn't just make a black version of Peter Parker. No, they actually made a whole new character with his own story to stand on. And I love that about him. And I feel like I told y'all, I don't really like the Spider-Verse movie because I feel like he should have really just got his moment to shine on the big screen or animated or something like that by himself before we started doing all that multiversal BS that like these companies are really obsessed with in the current moment. But I'm still proud of what he became today. And I'm very, very proud that he actually has his own story to stand on. And he's his own character at the end of the day. I love that from him, man.
For so long as we stay true to ourselves and help others in our own unique ways, then anyone can be a hero.
Spider-Man.
But what is a hero? To the
Here we
citizens
go.
of Japan, there was no one more synonymous with the word than their symbol of peace, All Might.
The big numero uno. With a smile on his face, he could save anyone and win any fight, no matter what.
Or so it seemed. After a battle with his arch nemesis All for One, All Might was grievously injured. His time as a beacon of hope was coming to an end, and he would need to find someone to pass on the torch.
In this world, most human beings evolved to have their own individual superpowers, or quirks, but not everyone is lucky enough to get one. Like this kid named Izuku Midoriya, or as local bully Bakugo like to call him, the good-for-nothing Deku.
Izuku wanted to save people just like All Might, but even his idol told him that he would have to give up on his dreams.
Forever the beta male in the shadow of Bakugo and his Sigma quirk, until he got the chance to alpha up and lend his rival a helping hand,
He did.
proving himself worthy of All Might's torch.
And so after months of training, Izuku was granted All Might's quirk, one for all.
Man, Deku better than me because I would have folded Bakugo like an almond a long time ago. I would have humbled the hell out that man. Let me find out I got the world's strongest quirk and you think you're going to talk to me crazy. It's going to look like a Diddy party. I'm going to turn your insides outside if you know what I'm talking about. He's just going to get done in the most filthiest way possible. I'm going to make sure that he suffers for everything he did to me. So y'all remember like when Deku was a baby or like a child and everything, and Bakugo was like casually burning him up? You remember during like the dang, their match or something like that, or exam, he was sitting there trying to like actually murder Deku while Deku was trying to actually win the match. Man, I would have sent him to the upper room. He would have learned what it was to be feeling inferior. Like, I don't know why Goku, like it's the same thing with Goku and Vegeta. Man, if Goku was any more petty, I would have went Super Saiyan 3 on Vegeta and just shown him there's levels to this. I would have actually just told him straight up, like, you'll never beat me. That you could train as hard as you can, but you'll never be me. You'll never be better than me. You'll always be second rate. I'm the slow class warrior, but guess what? You're always behind me, Vegeta. I would have did the same thing. Deku should have sat there and just turned villainous for like 2 seconds and said, you know what, Bakugo? I just got my powers a couple weeks ago. I just already know I could whoop your ass. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. I don't believe, you know what I'm saying? But I do like his development. Bakugo eventually got a little better. And I think when Deku was like in trouble, he was the first one to sacrifice himself or step up to the plate for Bakugo. So I do like that about him. And I do like that Vegeta kind of changed for the better. But their archetype, bro, I believe that both characters should have got humbled by the main character at some point in the story. That's just me personally, man.
This power allows him to boost his strength to incredible heights, using it for smashing attacks named after specific US locales, and a soccer club.
Or football, as they call it.
Straight punches, spikes, even finger flicks. One for All is the ultimate in strength-enhancing quirks.
The first time he used it, Izuku destroyed this giant robot in a single blow, on accident. Too bad it wasn't the only thing he destroyed, though.
Tore his arm
Damn,
up.
that looks like it hurts.
One for All's power was so great that the recoil would shatter Izuku's limbs when he used it. In the hands of an improper vessel, One for All could cause their body to explode. So Izuku would need to continuously train to master it at his Hero Academia.
Say that again.
UA High.
Here he'd be inspired by girly pop Uraraka to turn his zero name into his hero name, becoming the Deku who always does his best.
Something that he may have taken too far.
When it came to saving people, Do Your Best here had a bad habit of putting others way before himself. Sure, everyone else was okay, but he'd be good for nothing all over again if he got himself paralyzed.
So to cut down on his hospital bill, he developed full cowling. Instead of using his quirk in short bursts, he would continuously spread the energy across his body at low percentages, using it for acrobatics inspired by Bakugo's explosive movements.
And with that new thinking came a new fighting style, shoot style. To use a stronger limb that'd be less likely to break, Deku took a page from Nerd Emoji Ida's book and switched to focusing on kicks to pack in more of a punch. Yeah!
And that power would be needed. After a climactic battle with All for One, All Might would be forced into retirement, just a few months into Deku's training. Now it was his turn to face this demon lord.
But he didn't have to do it alone. Just as All Might had passed One for All onto Deku, it had been passed onto All Might by his master, and onto her by her master. One for All was a power that was built upon for generations.
The quirks of the previous users of One for All manifested in Deku, along with their spirits, or vestiges, to help him in his battle against All for One.
Black Whip gives him energy tendrils to swing around and restrain foes. They can also brace his arms and manually control his muscles if he can't move.
Float allows him to soar high into the sky. By combining it with controlled blasts of pressurized air, he can effectively fly.
Danger Sense detects incoming threats and unease, letting Deku react in advance, though it's mostly like an alarm bell and doesn't tell him specifics like location or number of threats. Familiar?
Smokescreen
And that's literally the only reason they got this battle. The only reason is because he has the black tendrils and he has that fake off-brand Aldi's version of Spider Sense. That's the only reason they sat there and made this battle. But I mess with it. I do like the concept of Deku versus Miles Morales, but I told you, I don't think he stands a chance against like a freaking comic character. Yes, he has all these abilities, and I love the concept of him getting all these abilities, bro. But I just truly don't think it means nothing in the grand scheme of things, because like we said, like Miles just has like 30 different iterations that range from like all powerful to like street level. You know what I'm saying? His bare minimal is street level hero, and they can be super powerful. I just don't see Deku winning in the grand scheme of things. I truly don't. But you know what? It's gonna be good seeing Mr. Dewey his best try.
Him create a smokescreen, but he can use it at full blast to create a bigger smokescreen.
That's swell and all, but the real meat is in Fajin. After building up kinetic energy within his body, Deku can unleash it for bursts of strength and speed.
Fire.
He's combined it with Black Whip to create the powerful Black Chain binding attack, and can use it in conjunction with Full Cowling to achieve foe 100%, equaling All Might's full level of power without any recoil.
He once
That's
used
tough.
it to outspeed a bullet shot by Lady Nagant, a former hero turned villain who has a sniper rifle for an arm. Where's I think I'm in love.
Nagant's bullet once crossed a distance of around 215 kilometers within a fraction of a second. That's 6,700 times faster than sound. And Deku was moving so fast, the bullet seemed like it was standing still.
And he can go even faster than that with his final quirk, Gear Shift.
By touching a target, he can control its speed without abiding by the laws of inertia. He can slow down foes to leave them frozen in the air, or move so fast he can punch multiple times in an instant.
Even All for One's own protege Shigaraki couldn't track him, and this is a dude who can catch light speed laser beams.
It does have a time limit though. After 5 minutes of continuous use, Deku's body will catch up to his speed, suffocating him as his cells become unable to take in oxygen.
Not nearly as bad as One for All was suffocating him though. He's been doing all of this shit in just the 10th grade. I hadn't even figured out you can breathe through your nose at that point.
The pressure of having
Got all these abilities at the end of like the basically series, and he like I love the concept of him basically having All Might's peak, and then he had all these other heroes on top of like what he was already able to do with All Might's quirk. What do y'all think about the ending? Because we all know, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen the end of My Hero Academia, you can skip ahead a little bit, but we all know that he ends up losing his quirk at the end of the series. And then I believe he turns into a teacher, but then he never becomes like the #1 hero. I don't think they build a giant statue. I think he just kind of gets forgotten in the main grand scheme of things. He becomes a teacher, kind of falls at the limelight. I think everyone's appreciative of him, but he's not like this all powerful, all praise for a hero or something like that. But sure, I remember there was a bunch of memes about him like putting the fries in a bag or something like that. But I think eventually the author gave him an ending where I think he got like an Iron Man like type suit, and then like he ended up finally getting with I forgot her name at the very end of the series. Even though I don't know why some weird shippers thought he was going to end up with the abusive Bakugo. What type of weird fanfic was that? Like, why would y'all want him to end up with this abusive guy that was sending him like burning his body throughout the series? Like, why would y'all want him to get with him? But I don't know. It did leave a sour taste in my mouth, but I think it did enough to get the job done. And I know this is narrative of like, oh, well, manga fans are never happy with the ending. I don't think that's true at all. 'Cause I think a series that actually ended perfectly, and I think it's like the greatest anime of all time, my personal opinion, is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think that from start to finish, it literally encompassed and finished everything on a perfect note. Even though the MC basically lost the ability to do alchemy, I think they just wrapped up everything beautifully, and it didn't leave no loose ends. Nothing became unquestioned. It was just beautiful from start to finish, and I feel like we actually got awarded for watching the series. I feel like everybody got the ending they deserved to get, and the villain even finally got off in a way that actually made all of us happy at the end of the day. But I just don't think My Hero Academia, I don't know if they really landed the mark as the way it should be, but I guess it did enough at the end of the day. Let me know what y'all think of the ending in the comments, man.
Having to save his friends, the country, the entire world weighed on Deku, so he left UA to fight this war alone.
But alone was never where Deku fought best. Having come from nothing, his admiration for his peers gave him strength, just as they admired his strength and desire to help others. Even Bakugo came around to him.
So when it came time to finally put that demon lord back in hell, his classmates, teachers, mom, friends, enemy, and everyone else supported and cheered him on. Because that was the greatest threat to All For One's reign all along.
Not All Might, not Deku, not even One For All itself. Just people helping each other out. And with their help, Deku defeated All For One once and for all, blowing a hole in this huge storm and parting the skies for a brighter future.
Though he did lose his quirk and have to retire from hero work, getting a regular 9 to 5 as a teacher, passing on his knowledge to the next generation, just like every user of One For All before him.
Some might say he peaked in high school, if not for the sick new armor he eventually got to go back to kicking butt. He even made it all the way back near the top of the rankings.
All with the help of—
He never reached #1 though, and I feel like this is just so disingenuous, bro. Like, he literally saved the world. You telling me he never reached #1? And I understand the argument of it's a popularity contest or something like that. It's not really based on, I guess, your accomplishments or achievements or something like that. But I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's just the fact of the matter of he lost that quirk, and then he fell off. He got 95, and he was putting the fries in the bag and everything, basically. Like, I guess he's a teacher, and now he got the Iron Man like costume, but I don't know. It just leaves a sour taste in my mouth that he never was able to get the acknowledgement, basically, by the general public for being him. Like, you know, he's like a category of Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, and Superman. You know, he's kind of like in those categories, and both those characters, they get their flowers. Yes, granted, Spider-Man has JJJ and stuff like that, but he still is loved by the general public. And I think Midoriya is loved, but like, for what he did, I feel like he just should be on a higher level. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.
Of his friends. For so long as we keep reaching out our hands to help those in need, everyone can be a hero.
I love that, man.
Run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
I swear to goodness, death battle. You have a habit of doing this. Don't let Midoriya win. Because there's no way. I don't care how much you try to hype up this is going to be a battle. This should not be a battle. Miles should win. As many freaking times y'all pulled through 30 or 40 different iterations to justify Superman whooping on my goat Goku, I swear to goodness, if y'all don't pull out the most omnipotent version like y'all do for everything else to have Miles win, I'm going to crash the fuck out. I'm so serious. Deku better not win this, bro. That's fire, though. I like how it looks like a comic book.
Yo! You're more man and less spider than usual.
Whoa, I was looking for you. Care to show me what you can do?
All right, new guy. First lesson, don't watch the mouth. Watch the hands.
Now watch mine, Delaware! Ah!
Let's try that one more time. Guess who?
I can't use my full power here. Gotta take this somewhere else. Oh, gross!
You got skills, man. I like that. Oh, mierda.
I'm sure that you're really nice, but you can't cut it here in BK. I'm sure that your all might, but I'm running away at the right place. With all that murderous stuff, fanboy, you already lost. You should take the hit.
I will say one thing, like, they don't miss when it comes to these battle animations, bro. I love how the art style of this whole animation right now, like, everything looks like a comic book, like an actual DC or Marvel type comic book right now. And I love like the gradient right here on the side and everything. Like, it looked like someone actually took an ink the page and like drew these two characters going or battling it out in like a regular Marvel continual comic. That's absolutely fire.
To an abandoned part of the city so we can go all out! Because I always do my best!
If I'm gonna do my best, I gotta do my own thing.
That joint was crazy, bro.
Sarah was right! Your quirk is amazing!
Amazing is my buddy. They call me the ultimate Spider-Man.
His suit has shock absorption, not nullification. So, it's got a limit!
I'm genuinely surprised that Deku can even touch like Miles, because like I just seen so many iterations and just seen so many nerd debates online, bro. Like how Peter Parker should never be really getting touched because he knows spider ninjutsu or something like that, and his spider sense are just so freaking fast. Like he should barely be getting really touched by a lot of things in general. Like they say like his comics are really dumbed down, like kind of like the Flash like is dumbed down in the main movies or something like that, and he really shouldn't be getting touched. So I'm surprised he's getting hit at all right now, especially I guess if you're using in-game omnipotent versions of freaking Miles Morales. Let's see who got the better hands, Miles. Come on, man.
Go beyond!
There's no way. Right. There's no way. He got maxed out? I told y'all. What?
Spider-Man. You really are the ultimate.
Right. I'm about to say. I told ya. Wait, hold on. Who won?
Bon Dios, Aranya Hoven.
Let's start by talking about their superpowers, which matched up quite evenly. Unsurprisingly, given the not-so-subtle inspiration for Deku's quirks, though they did have some edges over the other.
The Spider Sense gave Miles more insight on his surroundings and threats than Danger Sense, which has been worked around before.
This meant Miles's invisibility was harder for Danger Sense to detect when he wasn't attacking, while the Spider Sense's radar system allowed him to find Deku in a smokescreen. But Izuku's other quirks granted him advantages of his own.
Float was a lot more mobile than Webs, and Fa Jin gave a bigger boost in strength than Venom did.
Are you trying to tell me Miles just lost? What? Are you telling me Miles just lost? As many freaking times as Death Battle sat there and then sat there and took the most omnipotent version they can freaking find and taking it and putting it against like this one continual manga character. As many times you mashed them up together, you telling me you couldn't find a version of Miles that could sit there and just whoop Deku? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are y'all doing? Like, since when? What about Deku at all sit there and show that he can sit there and even compete with Spider-Man? Like, what? You trying to tell me he beat Spider-Man? A souped up version of Spider-Man? That Deku's not that strong, bruh. It just can't be. I refuse to believe it, bruh. He don't even carry himself like he got the sauce like that. No, bro, no. Y'all be trying to make people mad on purpose. I call fraud. I need all the sweats to get in the comments right now. I need every single researcher, comic sweaty nerd right now getting them comments. Cause I know there's some freaking omnipotent version out there that they sat there and mixed up in this joint that Miles should have sat there and beat Deku. Cause as many times and I sat there been for the manga character for all these versus battles, and I just sat there and seen what King Lion and all these other TikTokers and stuff like that be like, well, if you don't know, if we're just going with all the versions, the freaking Hulk, he's just omnipotent compared to all these manga characters. Like Ichigo just don't stand a chance because you got World Breaker Heart Hulk and you also got Immortal Hulk in this other iteration. Like, get out of here, bruh. Like, get out of here, bruh. There's no way that freaking Deku just beat Miles, bruh. You gotta be kidding me, bro. Like, what?
Since both had some advantages and disadvantages, we're gonna call superpowers a tie.
Next up, speed. Scaling to Peter, Miles could dodge light speed attacks, which actually outpaced Izuku moving faster than that sniper bolt.
Literally.
Fortunately for Deku though, that wasn't his best.
Thanks to Gear Shift, Deku could speed himself up to match Miles the same way he did to the light-catching Shigaraki. Even worse for Spidey, one touch from
fought
Gear
someone
Shift
like
could
that,
freeze
though.
him in place and make dodging totally impossible. So speed.
I wholeheartedly believe that Miles probably fought someone like that though. By this point, though, I would not be surprised if he sat there and dodged someone like Mr. Freaking Light's laser or some shit like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's probably dodged like 1,000 different lasers or something like that. That's probably faster than Deku at this point. Like, there's some. I'm just flabbergasted that they can pick and choose when they want to use the most omnipotent versions of characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't believe in that, bro. Like, since freaking when? I truly don't believe that Deku, like, outspeeds Miles if we're just taking, like, all his variations or something like that. Like, you gotta be kidding me, bro.
Goes to Deku.
As for
it's some
skill,
fuckery going on.
Deku was incredibly talented at analyzing an opponent's abilities and coming up with strategies on the fly.
But Miles' powers and fighting style gave Deku few immediate openings.
Deku may have received more formal training at UA, but he was ultimately only active in hero work for a little under a year.
Meanwhile,
Literally.
Miles has been handling everything from neighborhood crooks to multiverse-ending gods for significantly longer.
It's close, but with his greater experience, skill goes to Miles, and that means the biggest deciding factor is raw strength.
And that was no contest. Miles absorbing the energy of that bomb was nothing to scoff at, but overwhelming power is what One For All is all about.
When Deku defeated All For One, the energy needed to part those clouds with his punch had a yield of 362 billion tons of TNT, smashing the bomb Miles absorbed out of the water.
But it wasn't as simple as that. Miles is wearing a vibranium suit after all, so the question wasn't necessarily who was stronger, it was if Miles' suit was tough enough to continuously absorb Deku's blows.
When the Falcon protected New York from that city-destroying blast, it had a yield of 546 megatons. Impressive, but Deku defeating All For One was still over 600 times stronger than Vibranium's limit.
And Deku did that with One For All's embers, not the full package.
And remember, the Vibranium in Miles' suit was much thinner than what Falcon and Black Panther had, making it unlikely it could absorb as strong of a blast.
It's there to provide more protection, sure, but there was no way it could survive all of what Deku could dish out.
In this,
I hate you, Death Battle. I truly do. I despise what y'all be doing, bro. I truly despise y'all. I love y'all content, but I hate y'all. I truly do. Cause like, I feel like y'all do this on purpose. I feel like y'all do this on purpose to sit there and make certain demographics of certain people mad, bro. Like when you did Bardock versus Omni-Man, we all know per fact that Omni-Man stands no chance against Bardock. And like all the evidence and all the scientific BS y'all try to do, no one believed that actually reads comic books or watches anime that Omni-Man stood a chance against Bardock. He just doesn't. Like King Vegeta, sat there and waved his hand, was able to blow up 3 different planets at once. And I heard that Omni-Man, he can't do that. He's not planetary. He's just not a planetary person. He's just not. He's getting folded up. Bardock is planetary. Let it go on. You had him going Super Saiyan. So you already lost your credibility with that. And then you sit there trying to sit there and tell me out of all the sit there times you have biases against the manga characters and you want to just get all these omnipotent random versions of the characters, you telling me that somehow, some way, Midoriya just outclasses Oh, I get off my screen, bro. Like, what are y'all talking about, man? But let me know who y'all believe should win in the comments, bro. I want all you nerds that sit there and y'all religious about this stuff. That I need y'all to sit there and debunk this, bro. Who do y'all think should win? I want to see it. I want to hear it in the comments, bro. But all right, y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Y'all new, y'all. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.